Mira, tu ero o se viene pa mutana mo ka me se le pena trale. Tapi terus
So I'll just go through it. The examination of 2019, it is going to be totally computer-based examination. The second point, I'll take it up in the next slide. The third one, that is, there will be no negative marking. If you go, yes, thank you. There will be no negative marking. The students, those who are wanting to pursue with engineering, they will be attempting paper 1, which will be consisting of mathematics. Paper 2, which will be consisting of physics and chemistry. Paper 3 consists of zoology and botany. Now, paper 1, that is mathematics, has got 50 questions, each carrying 2 marks. Paper 2, which consists of physics and chemistry. Physics has 50 questions, chemistry has 50 questions, and each of these questions which are there, they carry 1 mark. So paper 1 mathematics, as you see on the screen, number of questions 50, and the total number of marks will be 100, that is 2 marks per question. Paper 2 consisting of physics and chemistry, physics consisting of 50 questions, 1 mark each, and that comes up to 50 marks, the same with chemistry. Paper 3 is botany and zoology. So the children, those who are opting for engineering, they will be writing paper 1 and paper 2. This is our common entrance test, that is CET. Children, those who aspire to give the national level examination, so that is commonly called as JEE, and that's joint entrance examination. Now, joint entrance examination has got 2 levels, that is level 1, that is JEE mains. Children, those who clear JEE mains, they go for JEE advance. JEE advance is nothing but IIT. That's what you see on the screen. There is a big question mark coming up with most of the students and the parents, those who come up for counseling when their child is in 10th standard, stating why IIT? Why should we go for IIT? If we go through this text, what I've written over here, US imports oil from Saudi Arabia, cars from Japan, TV from Korea. What does it import from India? They import real smart people from India having common credentials. They are graduates from Indian Institute of Technology, commonly known as IIT. What makes IIT so important? In a documentary aired by a particular channel, Vinod Khosla, co-founder of Sun Microsoft, states, what does he say? He says that the IITs probably are the hardest school in the world to get into, to the best of his knowledge. So he says, my knowledge. The documentary further concludes, what does he say further? He says that put Harvard, MIT, Princeton together and you begin to get an idea of the status of IIT in India to depict the competition as well as a demand for the elite institute. IIT JEE traditionally tests students' understanding of fundamental and ability to apply them to solve through unseen problems, emphasizing on the application part. That's very important. From 2019, as you know, there are several changes which have taken place. 2019 NTA, now what is NTA? We are coming up in the next line. Will conduct JEE twice and in online mode only. Initially, there was offline as well as there was pen and paper and there was online both. But this year is going to be online. The first examination will be in the month of January 2019 and the second will be in the month of April 2019. So the children, they are getting a hands-on to give this examination twice in a year. So they'll be appearing in the month of January and as well as they will be appearing in the month of April. The best of the score will be calculated, will be taken into consideration. Now, NTA, that is National Testing Agency, is a society registered as an autonomous, self-sustained premier testing organization to conduct entrance examinations for higher educational institutes. The conclusion is that students should continue. Ultimately, students should continue with their preparation as per the old pattern and syllabus. वो तो वही है. Ultimately, the examination pattern requires them to answer the MCQs on physics, chemistry, and mathematics only. Students need to be friendly with mouse and keyboards operation. It is very important at times like this to stay motivated and focused throughout. So it's an advice to all the students: surround yourself and get connected with people, institutes you have who will cast a positive influence on your life. So IIT, dekhe to, it's a very important examination. One thing we should understand, that we should all know that winning is not everything. Sometimes it is the journey which teaches you more than the destination itself. It may happen that you may not crack the examination. I'm not being pessimistic, optimistically only I'm talking. I'm just giving you the things, like trying to explain you if you don't crack the examination, but it will definitely teach you many things in life. Many things in life. You will love the fascinating results that hard work can give you. You will feel real competition. That there will be many instances when you will exceed your own limit of hard work in those 2 years that you're preparing yourself for IIT. These things will give you sense of self-confidence and also elevate your self-esteem. This is what IIT does. Now, why IIT? It's affordable technical education, and Indian mentality, like Indian people, they always want, their children, most of them, they would always want their child to get educated through IIT. Big job security, 100% placement, dream job, package more than 70, 80 lakhs, or you can say now it goes in crore, like Astha Agrawal last year, she got a package of 2.1 crore from Facebook. So that's fantabulous. So IIT gives an excellent placement for the students, those who qualify through IIT. The biggest takeover from IIT is the ecosystem, like not only the you can talk about the takeaway in the form of money, but it is also in the matter like you get a lot of self-confidence, you develop the problem-solving skill, you have got team building things developed in you, all these benefits that you get through IIT. So it is worth giving a try, worth giving a go for it. You'll not lose out on anything, by the way. So you'll always benefit out of it. Exposure, as I said just now, it is all these things you get. So it is an exposure beyond your imagination. Cultural diversity, when you are into IIT, you have got diverse type of people. There are different type of people along with you, studying along with you. It gives you a chance to become an excellent engineer, but it also gives you a chance of being a good human being. Again, IITs have a good alumni background. Alumni of IITs have achieved more than a normal Indian can dream of. You can always check out with, you can Google it out, this people, those who have benefited out of IIT. You have got so many examples. Talk about Ola, talk about Bhavesh Agrawal, who has started up Ola, Zomato, Bipendra Goyal, Snapdeal, Rohit Bansal. There are so many people to name, those who have benefited out of IIT coaching. To get connected to an institute, to get your dreams come true. Over here, we have got Sinhal Vidyarthi Academy, which connects young minds to the world of opportunities offered by top institutes like IIT, which lead the students to live their dreams and create something unique with their imagination, which makes them special. Sinhal Vidyarthi Academy is meant for those who dream to pursue a career in engineering from the best engineering institute, that's IIT. Sinhal Vidyarthi Academy, in alignment with the examination pattern released by NTA, that is a national testing agency, believes that with a systematic training, proper guidance, and consistent hard work, success in IIT JEE is guaranteed. For an examination of IIT status, every parent and student will want to be associated with the best. Sinhal Vidyarthi, we have developed the best and the highest quality resources that will make the biggest difference to the next 2 golden years of the student's life. The academic journey will become the best through these 4 aspects which we share with the students: top batch IIT faculty, 100% concept-based notes, result-oriented testing, trusted system. General tips before we start up with before we go to the next slide, which talks about JEE paper pattern. Let me share with you some general tips. When you're preparing for IIT JEE 2019, do remember that your marks in 12th board examination will play a vital role. So you must pay appropriate attention to your board examination also. 75% in board, or you need to be in the top 20 percentile. So time management is an important factor in JEE. When it comes to the stress and cracking the examination, students must ensure the right balance. There has to be, it is said that JEE is an examination which tests the IQ level of the student. It is a balance which a child has to maintain between IQ, that is an intelligent question, as well as the EQ, that is an emotional question. The 3 hours when the child is giving this examination of JEE, what is the mental state of the child? That plays a very important role. Is the child having a calm, composed state of mind? If the child is having that mind, then the child will be able to remember everything that the child has prepared for the last 2 years or more years for this examination that the child will be giving. So a balance has to be maintained, and that can be maintained through meditation, through you can have good healthy eating habits. Many toppers shared that they took time to do what they loved doing. So it's not that you are going into a banvas or something and you are going to have a very lifestyle wherein you will be cut off from the whole world. It's not like that. You need to have a balance between both. So be it watching movie or going out with friends and family, or even playing with their favorite sports, all these things children do. So you need to have a good planner made ready for yourself. So now talking about the JEE paper pattern. जब हम JEE के बारे में बात करते हैं, when we talk about JEE, we can talk about mains, because the advanced examination, it keeps fluctuating. But यहाँ पर mains में at least you are assured about the fact that the paper is going to be for 360 marks. That is the assurance that is there. Duration 3 hours, physics, chemistry, mathematics. JEE mains has got 2 papers, paper 1, paper 2. So paper 1 consists of physics, chemistry, and mathematics. Paper 2 is for those children, those who want to pursue architecture as their, as their field. So for them, paper 2 is there. Total number of questions is 90. Like physics, chemistry, and mathematics, each of the paper will be having 30 questions multiplied by 4. That is, each question ka answer that you are writing, you will be getting 4 marks. For every correct answer, you're getting 4 marks. For every wrong answer, you're getting -1. So you need to be very careful while attempting your answers, while attempting the questions, because every wrong answer will give you -1. Moving on further, JEE Advanced, I will not want you all to emphasize more upon the advanced part, because this is just something which might change, because the paper pattern will change. It doesn't remain the same. Any of the questions which come in JEE Mains as well as JEE Advanced, none of the questions are repeated. It is said that this examination will be conducted by IIT, the paper will be set by IIT Roorkee. Just don't pay attention towards the remaining part what I've written. Number of paper, there will be 2 papers, 3 hours, 3 hours. It will be conducted. And that's it. Total number of marks, it is assumed to be as 372, and multiple choice level ka question hi hoga, that is objective based questions it will be. That's JEE Advanced. Moving on further, talking about the top 25 engineering colleges of India, we'll quickly go through that. We'll skip this slide and we can go further to the next one. So these are the list of colleges. At any point of time, if you Google, you can always get the list of colleges which are there. IIT Madras being always number 1. Presently, at least the status is number 1. Bombay being at number 2. The next slide. The new change. The new change, as I have already spoken to you about the NTA, that is the National Testing Agency. So it has brought about few of the changes about which I have earlier also spoken to you. That is, the examination will be conducted twice, that is January and April. So JEE Mains is considered to be one of the most competitive examination, and every year nearly 11 lakh students register for this examination. And JEE Mains, if the child qualifies, then the child will be getting admission in any of the NITs, or you can say any of the top top-notch colleges, engineering college. Just going back again, like for CET also, if the child is qualifying for CET, if I'm talking about Maharashtra, if I'm talking about Mumbai, then if the child is qualifying CET, then on the basis of CET, the child can get admission in as good as the best of the best college, that is VGTI. The child can get admission in Sardar Patel, DG Sangvi, SIS, name the college. These are the best colleges that the child can get admission through CET. Through JEE mains, the child but naturally can get admission in any of these colleges. In addition to that, in any of the NITs, the child can get admission. JEE mains 2019 would be conducted, as I've said, that National Testing Agency will be conducting the examination. And this time, JEE mains 2019 would be conducted only on the basis of, that is a computer-based test format hoga. There will be no pen and paper used. The examination will be conducted between January 6 to January 20. Talking about NTA, now this particular section, which is there, it's a very delicate section. This is just to ease off the stress factor which most of the 12th standard students must be having regarding the normalization procedure. So we'll not go into the detail of it, because the more you get into details of it, the more you will be confused. So better than that, the calculation and all, we'll not look into it. We'll just look into the motivational part of it, feeling good, that feel good factor we'll take out of it. So NTA will be conducting the examination on multiple dates, generally in 2 sessions. This is done. Candidates will be given different sets of question paper per session. It is quite possible that in spite of all efforts of maintaining equivalence amongst different various question papers, the difficulty level of these question papers administered in different sessions may not exactly be the same. Some of the candidates may end up attempting a relatively tougher set of questions when compared to the other sets. The candidates who attempt the comparatively tougher examinations are likely to get lower marks as compared to those who attempt the easier ones. In order to overcome such a situation, normalization procedure based on percentile score will be used for ensuring that candidates are neither benefited nor disadvantaged due to the difficulty level of the examination, with the objective of ensuring that a candidate's true merit is identified and that a level playing field is created in the above contest. The normalization procedure shall be adopted for compiling the NTA sources of multiple session of papers that is going to be conducted. So understand it very well that if you are preparing yourself properly for your examination, if you are giving 100% justice to your paper, then you don't need to pay attention towards all these normalization procedure and all, because you will but naturally be selected in the top list. So focus all your attention towards the calculations which are there in your physics, numericals, your mathematics and all those things, rather than going into all these calculations. Okay, now this is the most important thing, that is why start early. Now start early for the children. If I'm talking about the children, those who are presently in the 12th standard, start early. No, this will not suit them. But then we can say that yes, students those who are in the 11th standard or those who are in the 10th standard presently, those who are looking forward to get into IIT coaching, for them this will be perfect. It will be something worth learning, worth paying attention to. Okay, why start early? From JEE ranks to IIT alumni, most people agree that early starters get an advantage in JEE. The biggest reason being time. The more time you get before your JEE examination, the better. Here's how you need as much time as you can get before your JEE examination and how it will make a difference in your final performance. Let's see that. Starting early gives you time to plan. If you start preparing early, you can gauge which subject do you find easier and which ones do you require more time. For example, if you find physics the toughest, you can make a subject plan, a study plan accordingly, and spend more time studying that particular subject. If you start preparing at the last minute, you are in a rush to complete the syllabus without any direction. Due to this, you will not overcome your weaknesses and will lose marks in the exam. I always tell to the students, time is money. So if think now, like today is the 1st of December. So if you think you have withdrawn, say a mom has withdrawn 10,000 rupees and she has put it in her wallet, and now she is spending it. One fine day when she opens her purse, she says that, wow, where's the money? There's no money in it. But then if she has planned things properly, she knows where the expenditure is going to go, she'll never be surprised opening her purse. So like, time is money. So the same way, your time also, if you plan it out perfectly well, then you can utilize it. The unwanted expenditures, mom will come to know if she is dotting down things, and she will avoid those unwanted expenditure henceforth. The same way, when you are planning out things for yourself, you need to see to it that where, what time you're going to give for which subject. आपके पास sufficient time मिलता है ये सारी चीजों के लिए. Okay, further. Starting early helps in get your basics right and master the core syllabus. This is perfectly something which is really very important. JEE is a complex examination. Over here, none of the questions are an isolation in itself. It's not from one particular chapter. It's all interrelated. It's all connected. So having the basic core knowledge plays a very important role. You must use your very basic concept to solve various type of questions. Moreover, due to intense competition, the number of candidates securing the same marks has been increasing. Just the last line what I read just now. If you go to see last year itself, there were 6 students, those who got 350 on 360. 6 students got the same score. It means that the questionnaire that was there in the question paper, it has a certain difficulty level. And if you have that smartness to crack that difficulty level, you are there. You have got that score. Like over here, these 6 students, like there was a child called Suraj, Hemant, Parth, who happened to be from Sinhal. Parth happens to be from Maharashtra, that is from Sinhal Classes. Pranav was there, Maitreya was there, Gopal was there. Now these all students, they got 350 on 360. So the competition is so tough that you may have many students getting the same score. And do you know, if you are getting the same score, the competition is still tougher. Then it becomes more difficult for all these students. And over here, it is only 6 students that I'm talking about. But then there are several more students getting a particular score, which is so common to many others. If you go to the last point of the previous slide, this year the highest marks secured were 350. However, this highest score was secured by 6 different candidates, as I told you this time, just now. This elevates the importance of every single mark that you are getting. The next point that is you need to keep in mind is starting early helps in getting your basic rights and marks. No, that's done. Okay, the next, the same thing, that is your basic, getting the basics right and mastering the core subject. One more advantage that you get is, what is the advantage if you keep preparing early? Not only do you have time to understand the concept in depth, but you can also go back to the concept that you have not fully understood. This will help you while solving the calculation based and theoretical section. Starting early will also, if you prepare much later, what will happen if you don't start early and prepare with the basic fundas and all those things? What will happen? You will have no time left to revisit the concepts. Revisit the concepts in the sense, there are concepts, those which are taught in the standard 8th, 9th, 10th. So if you have the time, then you will be able to go back to these concepts again. Now, due to this, you may have difficulty, if you are not doing it, so you will have difficulty in solving the tougher questions. Moreover, you will only be in a rush to remember the concepts without understanding them. So that will go against you. Mock test plays a very important role. The students who are now in the 10th standard, for them also mock test plays a very important role. The more they are writing board papers, preliminary examination, the more will they benefit. So it is applicable for every level of examination that the students give. Over here, mock test and previous year question papers give you the real feel of the examination. If you start preparing early, you can estimate how well do you react to pressure situation. Like I told you earlier, during those 3 hours, what is your state of mind? How calm, composed you are? That plays a very important role. With more mock tests, you can develop strategies that work for you. From which subject you should solve first, to where should you spend the least and the most amount of time. All these things you can calculate. Moreover, depending on how well you score in these tests, you can gauge how well will you do in the examination. आपका rank आप calculate कर सकते हो. Accordingly, you can aim at preparing for JEE Advanced. If you do not prepare well ahead, you will not be able to attempt as many mock tests. So that will be a disadvantage. Hence, you will not be able to acclimatize yourself to the pressure environment. What is that environment? You will not be able to get a feel of it. It also helps, the more mock tests that you're writing, it will help you in learning your mistakes. You learn from your mistakes. Solving mock tests and question papers is futile if you do not learn from your mistakes. If you have time, you can sit back, review every mock test to look at where did you go wrong. You can then revise that topic or concept and try not to make the similar mistake again. Moreover, the sheer experience will help you to improve. If you do not prepare in advance, then you will not be able to attempt any of the mock tests, and even if you do, you will not be able to clarify the doubts because you have got very less time in hand, and everything will be in rush, haste. Moving further, starting early leaves time to manage different preparation tactics for standard 12th state level examination, that is a CET as well as NEET. So if your board for 12th is not CBSE follows the NCERT syllabus, there might be minor variation in the syllabus prescribed for JEE, and the one followed by your 12th board. So you have to, align it. This applies to the state CETs as well. If you are confused between engineering and medical, there are children, those who take a PCMB, कि चलो ठीक है, देखते हैं, engineering हुआ तो engineering है तो medical. So the children, those who are still confused between engineering and medical, you will need adequate time, prepare for CET. तो preparation के लिए time लगेगा ही, then again NEET के लिए भी आपको time लगेगा. So it's always better that you start early so that you are having time divided between the two. Moreover, the methodology used to crack each of these examinations, कैसे हो जाता है, most of the people, they feel that, oh, it's easy, ये नहीं तो ये, but then actually आप एक खिचड़ी बना दे रहे हो. You are not focusing towards one thing to get success in that. So that's what it said, that the methodology used to crack each of these examinations is different from the other, since the examination pattern is different. Though if you start early, then you can always cope up with all these things. Starting early for JEE not only puts you ahead of your competition, but it also ensures that you have a backup plan. Backup plans are always required. Backup plans, we as children, we have been seeing our parents having backup plans. Your bank is there, investments are there, policies are there, securities are there. All these things are backup plans. So वैसे ही पढ़ाई में भी, this is your backup plan. If you are completing your studies well in advance, starting well in advance, then you will be always having a backup plan for yourself. How early is early enough? Today's students have started preparing for JEE as early as grade 8. That's a fact. We have students, those who are preparing for their JEE from the 9th standard, from the 10th standard, through the foundation courses that we offer to them. Most important, children, those who are in the 10th standard itself, they are preparing with their foundation course. That is, they are in line to the preparation for JEE. In the 10th standard also, there are children, those who think that अरे 10th standard में boards का ही पढ़ना है, तो ये चीज diversion हो जाएगा, I'll not be able to pay attention towards my boards. But then remember it very well. The preparation for JEE, if you're making it beforehand, like if you're taking up the preparation in the 10th standard itself, it always adds to your knowledge. It gives you more of exposure. It makes you better prepared for your 10th standard. So you have to smartly design your time. You should see where you are giving your time. So that plays an important role. So along with your 10th standard, you can do your preparation for foundation also. However, it is safe to say that you must start preparing at least by grade 10. This gives you enough time for a thorough preparation. However, don't be disheartened if you have missed the grade 10th bus. This is for the children, those who are in the 11th standard. There are many successful students who have started preparing for JEE in grade 11. If you have started your preparation later than your friends, all you have to do is make up for the lost time by working hard. Okay, these are the few lists of engineering examinations in India that are conducted. We have already spoken about JEE, that is, then we have spoken about advanced also. These dates which are there, you can always Google it out, you will get the information. Besides giving CET examination, besides giving JEE examination, children also opt for other examinations to keep the options open. BITSAT is one of the examination, that is Birla Institute of Technology. So that also helps the children. So Birla Institute of Technology, we have got four BITSATs, that is Pilani is there, Hyderabad is there, Goa is there, and Mishra is there. Yeah. So BITSAT examination children give, and VIT examination also it has got good campus interviews. So children go for VIT also, that is Vellore Institute of Technology. Further on, there are, besides this examination, children give SRM also. Manipal examination is also there. The list will come up over here. SRM is there, and this is for the children, those who have joined in from Uttar Pradesh, that is UPSC examination is there. Moving on further, Maharashtra CET, I spoke just now. This is for the ones, those who have come up from Bengal. There is entrance examination. Like every state has got their entrance examination. The NATA examination, children, those who are opting for architecture, for them this is the examination. ISER examination, that is Indian Institute of Science Education and Research Aptitude Test, the one is at Pune also. So children look forward to be a part of it. I should say the ratio is 1:99, because I have come across very few children, those who actually aspire to be a part of ISER. Moving on further, children can opt for this petroleum, and Aligarh Muslim University examination is also there. Moving further, Bharati Vidyapeeth, Delhi University entrance examination. Children, those who are wanting to get into marine engineering, for them Indian Maritime University is the Academy for Maritime Education is also there. Manipal, about which I spoke just now, University of Petroleum, we took up this earlier. Okay, now list of entrance examinations after 12th PCM. We have already spoken about the joint entrance examination. Still, I'll take you through. The joint entrance examination CET we have spoken about. Let's go to point number 2. That is special class railway apprentice examination, which is conducted by UPSC. It is conducted by Union Public Service Commission every year. It gives you a chance to pursue a bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering from BITS Nesta. This is one of the BITS, like besides Pilani, Hyderabad, Goa, one is Nesta, which is at Jharkhand, yeah. After that, you will be placed in Indian Railway. The information, the details, you can always get it on the site, www.upsc.government.in. The state examination, that is a CET, is the third thing. The next slide will talk about the defense service, like if people, those who want to go into defense sector. So NDA examination, it is conducted twice every year by the UPSC, through UPSC. The age limit is given, so children can go for that. So boys, you don't need to be married when you are applying for this. Okay, moving further, the second one is a technical entry scheme. Now this is again technical entry scheme, that is a TES. This is if you want to get into army. So if you secure better percent in marks in your 10+2 in PCM subject, you can apply for direct service selection board through TES. Other than defense and engineering sector, there are some other examinations also that children can give. You can appear for KVPY. KVPY is one of the most important examination, and I personally recommend all the students to give this. This can be given in the 11th standard as well as in the 12th standard. So the syllabus is pura, like pura 12th tak ka syllabus, it comes in that. So it's your choice whether you want to give it in the 11th or you want to directly take a try for it in the 12th exam, 12th standard. So KVPY is a must. Go for it. It gives a lot of benefit. It will give chance to join IISC, that is Indian Institute for Science, that is at Bangalore. So you'll be able to get into that. It's one of the most prestigious institutes for 4 years BS course and along with fellowship. If you are interested in fashion technology, you can appear for the National Institute of Fashion Technology test. You can also, there are children, those who want to pursue with law and all, and then this, so for them also, that you can appear for common law admission test for bachelor's degree in law out of this. Children can also pursue with hotel management courses if they wish to. So these are the entrance examinations that can be given. So that's all from my end. Children, those who would be wanting to enroll with us, what Sinhal is offering is a flat 50% scholarship on all the coaching of these entrance examinations that we have mentioned. If you are preparing yourself for IIT, means you are prepared for all the examination, all the other examination. Talk about name any of the examination, because for 2 years the intense coaching that you undergo, that will prepare you by default for all the other examinations. Thank you. That's from my end, and I give it ahead to
Well,
who is taking it over.
yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, start Varad.
So Bharat will be the one who will be
Bharat.
speaking now. So welcome, Bharat.
Okay, thank you, Neeta ma'am. So I thought I was going to speak to only the people who will be giving the JEE mains in the next year, 2019. So I prepared the slides according to that, but I'll sort of avoid these slides directly and I'll speak about some general points because there are people of all grades here. So the first point is like, what are some general things that we should keep in mind during the preparation of JEE? I hope I'm audible enough. Can someone confirm?
Yes, you are.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah. So Anita ma'am mentioned properly that there is some distinction between IQ and EQ. Like your EQ is as important as your IQ, because if you're not emotionally strong during those 3 hours, like it can go utterly disastrous. You have to control your nerves because that is the most important thing. If you know the knowledge, if you know the right things, but you cannot implement them, then it's of no use. Because frankly speaking, because I have seen many friends of mine, like they have taken a drop just because of that. They're sitting along with me and they had to wait for 1 more year to clear even the JEE mains. So that is one important thing. Also, there will be moments like you'll feel low in life, like you'll enter into a phase of depression. It will happen to everybody. You cannot be a unique person that you haven't faced depression during the JEE days. So like, yeah, just to counteract the feeling, like it is important you stay emotionally strong. You connect with friends, teachers, faculty members, because once you're over to the other side, then it's all beautiful there. But there will be this phase during the preparation where you have to keep your focus. You'll have to keep strong. Like this is one general thing. Like I wanted to speak about because I think many 12th grade people will relate to it. They should relate to it. I think. Then let's speak about the method of learning which I followed. Like there is this one beautiful quote by, I guess, Feynman. Yes. He's like, if you can't teach some concept, to like even a basic 8th standard, 7th standard grader, then you don't know the concept at all. So I guess you should implement it. Like you should go down to the very core of whatever concept is trying to convey to you. Like if you you should have the basic understanding to know your stuff, because JEE will not test like what formulas you have remembered, what is your remembering capacity. It will test that in some subjects, in subjects like chemistry, but then also the major focus is on how well you've understood it. If you've not understood it, then you cannot clear the JEE. That is a truth. That is a truth which I think it is pretty true. So yeah, emphasis during the preparation is to be laid on how to grasp the concepts and not what is the concept. the end result is not as important as the way you reach to that end result. That is very important. So like, let's continue to the last 30-40 days preparation. Most of you, like I'm just reading from the slides, most of you must have finished the entire syllabus by now. Even if you still have to cover a couple of chapters, then do it, because it is important to cover all the chapters, because some simple questions might be asked from the chapters which you have left and you might take it later. So just to avoid that feeling, you should cover all the chapters. Then for like, I'll go subject wise from this point. For chemistry, like, let's divide chemistry into 3 sections: physical, inorganic, and organic. For physical, you will have to learn the formula, because like you have only 180 minutes to solve 90 questions. That gives you 2 minutes per question. You cannot expect the student to like derive the formula necessary to solve the particular question during the exam itself and then implement it. That is just not possible. So at least for the mains, you will have to remember the formula. For advanced, you will not be tested that much directly on the formula basis. You will have the time to derive it, but at least for mains, like that is the thing coming up, immediate thing coming up in January, I guess. It's in January. So yeah, you need to learn the formula in physical chemistry. And the next section is inorganic. So many professors might have laid emphasis on inorganic, like the NCERT, because many questions come directly from NCERT in this section. Like I've laid down an example. Like I don't exactly remember the year, but it is like a very stupid question, but it was worth 4 marks. And 4 marks is a huge deal in this entrance examination. Each and every single mark is important. Like you have to do it all. And while this section may appear boring and tedious from the surface, it is an interesting one, and many questions are asked from this section, all of which can be solved in 5 to 10 minutes. If you have not covered this section properly, you will miss out on a golden opportunity to gain 20 to 32 marks in 5 to 10 minutes. The next slide, please. Next slide. Third remaining section is organic. Like, one should be thorough with the reactants and products of all the reactions, and also the mechanisms of the major reactions, if not all. Because in JEE means like they will really test like, do you know the reaction or not? In advanced, they will test like, how well do you know this reaction? That's a major difference between mains and advanced. Like mains will be comparatively easier. Like it won't be easy. Like you can't just directly score full marks in it. But then also it will be comparatively easier than advanced. Then yeah, coming back to the point. For physics, like it's similar to physical chemistry. You should learn the formula. And once again, deriving these formulae can be tedious and time consuming. And also there are a few topics which are asked only in the mains. So technically the portion of the syllabus of mains is a bit longer than that of advanced. Especially in physics, like you have topics like semiconductors and optical instruments. Only people choose to ignore those topics because they seem like hamare level advanced ka hai, so we won't do those topics. But still questions are asked from these topics, like 2 to 3 questions is a minimum. Like questions are asked from these topics. So if you do not do those topics properly, you will not be able to solve those questions. That is a fact. So, and you will just miss out on 4 to 8 marks, which are very easy. If you could have just put in an effort of like 6 to 9 hours during those 2 years of JEE preparation, you could have scored those marks, but you could not in the exam. For mathematics, like there is no such set of ground rules like how you should proceed about mathematics. It depends on you, how well you know your stuff. You should know your stuff very well. You should have practice of solving lengthy problems, because that is the thing that I faced in my paper, the 2018 paper, I guess. 2018 paper. So the next important thing is exam strategy, because like those 3 hours, you should effectively give your 100% into those 3 hours. Even if your efficiency is a bit less, then you will score a few marks less than what you could do. This is important. For those who are giving the JEE main exam in the January slot, attempt 1 paper per day from tomorrow itself, and that too in a time slot in which you will give in the exam. So for like me, the time slot was 9:30 to 12:30 because like it was only held once. So every day, like I guess 20 to 30 days before the main exam, I used to solve a paper in that particular time slot because it sort of tunes up your body. A professor of mine once he laid a lot of emphasis on this. So, and experiment with different ways in which you go about solving the paper. The most common one is CPM, like you first attempt chemistry, then physics, and then mathematics. keep a track of the time needed for each section. Like ideal times for this strategy should be around 30 to 40 minutes for chemistry, 60 minutes for physics, and 75 to 80 minutes for mathematics. This is just an example. Like that, this is what I try to follow it. Try different strategies in the coming days and see which one works best for you. Because a strategy which works for person A might not work for person B. It is just human knowledge. Like, do humans cannot think in the very same way. Also, in the exam, like you should possess like the person. Yeah, you should carefully sort the questions. Once which can be done quickly should be attended first. Once that would take up quite some time should be kept at the end, because in the very same time, like in 5 minutes, you can solve 3 questions from the easy type, or you can solve a hard question. But in the initial phase, like in the initial half an hour of the exam, if you just solve a couple of questions, a couple of tough questions, then you might feel some defeat. You might feel like I've just scored 8 marks in half an hour. But if you have done the other way, like if you have solved like 10 to 15 questions in that particular half an hour, which is possible, and which is also done by like almost half the aspirant, it can be done. If 60 to 80 marks can be done in only half an hour of the exam. So you will feel a very bit elevated, like yeah, you have done something. At least you cleared the cutoff. It doesn't matter what happens in the next 2.5 hours. At least you cleared the cutoff for a time being. That's how I felt it in that moment. Yeah, and as I mentioned earlier, JEE also tests your EQ, your emotional quotient. You will feel defeated at some moments during the exam as well. You should not let this feeling hamper the rest of the paper. Exam temperament is as important as knowing your stuff in competitive exams. Yeah, the next slide. Oh, the slide ends. So let's have a Q&A session now. Like, I guess there are people from all categories here, like grade 11, grade 12 grade. And I've not talked much about what you can do from 10 to 11 standard. So it can be covered in the question and answer session.
So you can ask your questions in the chat box. So anyone who has question, start asking on the chat box. We already have some of the questions.
Okay, there is a question from MotoG5S Plus. Is JEE marks helpful in foreign countries? Like, no, like they won't directly give you admission on the basis of your JEE marks, but yes, your rank will certainly help. If you're in a double digit or single digit zone, like definitely they'll give some preference to you, but it should not be taken that just because your rank in JEE is good, you'll get admission to a foreign country. That is not possible. Okay, then I hope I've answered it. Just put a, I don't know. Yeah. Then what should be the first preference? Board, seat, or JEE? Then, well, it depends from person to person. What I can suggest to all the people is that first try out JEE, because that is the toughest one. If you think you can do it, then good, proceed with it. If you think you cannot do it, like give it some time, give it a couple of months if you're in 11th grade, see if you can work things out, see if you can gain the confidence to clear the exam. But if you don't think like you cannot do it, then drop back to CET, because it's sort of, you can prepare for JEE as well, but I think you should be focused like what you have to do. But I think anyone can clear JEE. It is not that tough. JEE Advanced is a little bit different, but JEE Mains can be cleared by everybody, I guess. So, and both CET or JEE. Also, I'd like to say here, yeah, what many people do is like, well, in the 2 years of JEE preparation, they don't give adequate preference to boards. Like it is like downgrade level stuff for those aspiring for JEE Advanced, which is not the case. You have to score 75% or the 20%, whatever it is, to clear JEE Advanced. If you don't do that, and even if you have got a very good rank, then it is utterly meaningless. You cannot get into an IIT. So also, like I started my boards preparation from like February of 2017, because it depends on person to person how early you should start it. If you're doing well in a JEE, then I would suggest that you proceed with it. Like you focus entirely on JEE, and at least 3 months before the board exams, you brush up all the topics, and then you'll be through to it. Then, how many times should be given to each question in mathematics? Like there will be, I can say there will be 3 types of questions, like the extremely lengthy ones, the sort of medium ones, and the very ones like which you can just eliminate the answers in this case. Like the third type in which you can just eliminate 2 to 3 incorrect options and arrive to the correct option. Like you can do it in like 1.5 minutes. And for the rest of thing, like for the medium types, you can spend 2 to 3 minutes on each question. And for the hard type and for the extremely lengthy ones, it should not go beyond 3.5 minutes, because remember, like there are 180 questions, there are 90 questions in 180 minutes. So you have an average 2 minutes per question. 2 minutes per question, right? And like suppose you try out strategies which I did, like 80 minutes maximum for 30 questions in mathematics, and end up with 2.66 minutes per question. So you try to average it down to 2.5 or something like that. So okay. Difference between JEE main exam and JEE advanced exam. So like a factual difference is that JEE is conducted by NTA and JEE advanced is conducted by the IIT itself. So only itself here we can see a difference in the papers. Like the IIT itself is creating an examination paper, so of course it will be difficult. JEE is just like you cannot give a paper like JEE advanced to 11.5 lakh candidates throughout the nation. It will be disastrous for many of them. So just have a first round sort of thing, like let's give the let's give the paper to those who can do it. So they basically just select 1.5 lakh people who will appear for the JEE advanced. So JEE is a comparatively easier exam. This is the bottom line, and advanced is a tougher exam because the main point is in advanced the pattern itself is not fixed. In JEE mains you have a bottom line like this. There will be 30 questions from each section. There will be a plus 4 minus 1 negative marking scheme. In advanced they can do anything. Like let me give you my example. In my case, they came up with this type of question, the numeric type question. Like basically your answers, like what was traditionally followed in the integer type questions was like you end up with an answer which is a perfect integer from 0 to 9. But in my case, this thing completely blew up. We could end up in decimal answers, and that too in any domain. It could be negative, it could be zero, it could be positive, and we had to round it off to 2 decimal places. So in advance, they have the freedom to experiment with different strategies which they want to check in the child. Because remember, like JEE is not just about how well you know your stuff; it's also about how you manage about going through the question. Okay. What matters most in admission boards? Oh, board scored CT or JEE. Like, it would be good if Ali Nathani could elaborate the question again. What college is the person talking about? And also the grade, like if the person is in 10th, 11th, or 12th. I'll come back to this question later. From Ahil, I want to take up chemical engineering, and I've heard ICT is better than IIT for chemical engineering. ICT requires mains and IIT requires advanced. So should I be focusing on both mains, or after mains, I should focus on JEE advanced? Ahil and theories. So, well, Ahil, that it is true that ICT, chemical engineering from ICT is at a higher level than chemical engineering from any IIT. But I think ICT, like ICT, you enter into ICT from through the CET score. I'll Andheri, so you say in Bombay. So you are a state candidate, so you have to appear for CET to get into ICT. So if you can. Let's reply hands up if you can see what I am saying. There's a guy there. Okay, so let's assume the worst. Okay, you have to appear for CET to get into ICT. That's bottom line. Which are the colleges in India which give the best in the field of mechatronics?
Mechatrons is NIT. NIT will be offering Karnataka, and IIT Patna, Bihar will be offering.
Yes, sir. Yeah, you can get that information on Google. Moto G5.
IIT Patna, Bihar hai. So the next question, maybe Bharat can answer the best.
Okay. To be honest, till now I had prepared nothing for JEE main. So please can you suggest me a way? How can I get in the remaining 30 to 40 days? So like one thing you can do in this situation is like there is a book in the market, JEE means that. So you can follow that, or like if you want to get into IIT, then I think it is too late because 30 to 40 days IIT nahi hone wala hai. So if you just want to clear JEE mains to get into NIT, you need a good rank. You can surely put that book. It will help you out. And also like, okay, that book will be enough, I guess. Then, which entrance exam do I have to give to take admission in aeronautical engineering? Okay,
JEE means
like there are two fields like aeronautics and aerospace. So like aerospace is also offered by IITs also, and there's this institute in South India, I guess, by the name IIST, Indian Institute of Space Technology. Like it is sort of run by the ISRO, our space organization. So you can give the exam if you want to specialize in rocket sciences, but aerospace is offered by many top colleges in India, like even IITs offer it. Like, can you throw some light on integrated courses from Sajat Noorani?
Integrated courses basically wherein you don't need to attend the college on a regular basis. You go to the college for the practicals and a few of the lectures which has been designed by the college. So you are able to give more of your time on a daily basis towards your preparation for IIT. But you would like to add something more?
So like if you take up an integrated course, it will be very convenient for you because you won't have to attend college throughout the 2 years. You will get adequate time to like invest into JEE stuff. So the next question, JEE means advanced matters for ISRO. So like to get into ISRO, you have to give the JEE advance, and the IIST, they prepare a rank sheet. Like you have to fill up a form, and advanced marks matter for ISRO. So to get into that college, they'll prepare a rank sheet. Like I guess the cutoff for 2017 was 66%. So you can get into college. It is not that difficult to get into college. Which is the best college for aeronautical engineering, and which all exams to clear? Like, I guess this is a repeated question. You can Google out for this information. Like, I don't possess all this information, but if you want to take up aerospace, then I can say IIT Kanpur is the best because, like, it is a very old stream there. They even have their own airstrip. So IIT Kanpur is probably the best in aerospace right now in this country. Then the next question. Just a minute.
The names of the colleges that can be Googled out, the best college
Yeah.
at different places.
Just skip those questions which are related to college and feel free to skip.
Important to get JEE advance in order to get a good package. No, it isn't. It is a myth that everybody gets a 1.5 crore package here in IIT. Only a couple of students get those packages. They're just normal learners. It's like JEE isn't like this examination is not like if you clear it then you are God, if you don't clear it then you are nothing. It is not like that. It is a matter of how well you were on that day. It doesn't define what you will be for the rest of the 60 or 70 years that you will live. So it is incorrect to assume that if you're an IIT then you're everything. No, not all of us are like that. Okay, then you can just Google out this stuff. You'll get a long read about it somewhere or the other place. Is the eligibility of JEE means based on the percentage of 12th? Well, no, it isn't. Like, if you want to get admission into IITs, you have to secure 75% or 20 percentile, whichever is minimum, I guess. So, like 75% is a good baseline to, keep it target as 75 to 80%, and you will be through. I say about it again, and I say we need 180% main. Acha, he's back. We into ICT chemistry, but we can also get through MHCET. Mains is also an option. I guess there are two rank lists. One is for those people living in Maharashtra itself, and for others who are applying through JEE mains. Because all the other states they cannot be expected to give all the series of all these states. So for the rest of India candidates, they will be judged on the basis of the JEE mains rank. And for those living in Maharashtra, like I saw I Andheri, so you must be living in Andheri. you have to give through CET. And the cutoff is something in the 160s for the other, like for chemical, I think it is in 170s or 180s, but for the petroleum, whatever the other courses are being offered, it is around in 160s, I guess. You can get this information in Google itself. Just Google like the cutoffs and they'll give you the type of categories, like according to which type of candidate, what is the cutoff for you. Okay. And give us the name of some preference books for physics, chemistry, and maths for JEE Mains and Advanced. Like for physics, you have two good series by DC Pandey, and the other is Sinhal series. Like I don't know the name of the author. Those two are good. See, like there's a series of 6 books. So it's like electrodynamics is a one book, mechanics is divided into 2 books. That is a good book for physics, and if there's some enthusiastic ones here, then you go for Aerodome or something like that. But that is sort of useless. Chemistry, you have for physical chemistry, I would recommend P. Bahadur. I think it is published by GRB publications for physical chemistry. Then for inorganic, for JEE, it is necessary to do NCERT only. Like questions will be asked from there itself. We can also go for the GRB books for the rest of the topics like that, inorganic and organic chemistry. Then for maths, again there is Engage series. But I think the best resource in all these cases is the material provided by the classes. You can go through material provided by all the classes available. It is available on the market. You can also download it for free from some random site, I don't know. But it is available on the internet also, because classes prepare concise sort of, collection of all the questions directly targeting the exam. So the best books for these would be the classes material only. Okay. And also my physics is a bit weak on chemistry and maths. At this stage, what can I do to improve it? Okay. I wanted to speak about this. I forgot to speak about this. Like you need to balance out all these subjects in the JEE preparation, because like I'll mention, suppose if chemistry and maths are easy in the 2019 paper and physics is a little bit tough, then IL is sort of he's pushed away in a backward rank. So you have to prepare for all the eventual possibilities that might arrive. So you have to keep all the 3 levels almost equal. I'm not saying that all your marks should be, the 3 marks should be equal in all the 3 subjects. So, but they should be at par, a little bit at par. What can you do to improve? Okay. Like as I mentioned, the books like DC Pandey and Sangeet are a good place to start. You can definitely look through that. And for theory, you can go through HC Verma, because that is a good book. Okay. Is conducted before 12th board exams. How do you know if I'm eligible? Well, JEE Advanced is conducted after the board exam, so the eligibility criteria is required only there. JEE Mains does not check whether you have paid for the board exam or not. That is required for JEE Advanced. Okay. If we don't clear JEE in case, then we can get admission in good engineering college. Okay. That depends on how you define good, first of all. And so also by JEE you have mains and advanced. If you don't clear JEE Advanced but you have performed good in mains, you can get into NITs, or like there are some other called like triple ITs and GFTIs. You can get detailed list on JOSA. Like this organization conducts all those rounds. You can get the list there. You've not cleared JEE Mains as well as advanced, and you've done good in CET, then you can, there are good colleges like College of Engineering, Pune, BJTI, DJ Sangvi. Like there are good options here also. Okay. MotoG5 plus WhatsApp full name after leave it. First preference should be theory or numericals for JEE and CET. For JEE Mains, no, actually both are equally important. Like just vary from subject to subject. For chemistry, there is an equal weightage on theory as well as numericals. You should know the stuff before you try to implement it. For mathematics, you only have numericals. There is no theory at all. But like also, well, sorry, I'm wrong. Wait, let me see. Can you please elaborate on the question XYZ? Like, what do you mean by theory or numerical? Meanwhile, I'll get back to you. Is it like classes are a must for preparation for this entrance? Classes definitely provide a good background because the professors, most of the time the professors themselves are graduates from good engineering colleges. Like many of them are from IIT itself. So classes know what to do, because if you're sometimes caught up in a situation where you don't know what to do, like there should be there is somebody in the classes to consult, like what should I do now, what should I proceed with. The classes provide a good framework. Then also they are a good source of question papers. Like you can give exams seriously in those conditions in which the classes provide. Okay, there are not a much like there are a few candidates, there are a few students here in IIT, some of my classmates who did not go to any classes, but there are only a few, very few people, like one in say 1,000 or 2,000. If you don't want to risk the chance, just like prove yourself that you entered into IIT without any classes. So if you are capable of going to classes, you should go for it. Which is best course for aeronautical engineering, and which all exams to clear. You'll get the information on Google. Who is Raheen? What Raheen asked. Ninth grade, how can we start the preparation for the competitive exams? Well, you can go for pre-foundation courses offered by like Sinhal or any other classes for its situation. I'm not trying to publicize anyone. You can go for pre-foundation classes. That is the best thing, because if you just pick up a random book and start reading it, you won't get the enthusiasm to like go through the entire book. If in case you have professors trying to teach you the stuff, you can understand it in a better way. So, but in a ninth grade, I should suggest like just go enjoy life. Don't start preparation too early. You can even start in 10th, even in 11th. I myself have done serious studies from 11th itself, and now I'm in IIT. Even there are better guys like in IIT Bombay CS, like in the top 60 holders, which are started preparation from 11th grade only. So like for a time being, I have to say like just chill in life. Don't take tension of what will happen later. Just chill. Last 1 month of preparation, tell me, so how should and what should I revise? Yeah, okay. So as I mentioned in the slides, there are a few chapters in each section. Like in chemistry, there is this P block. There is a periodic table section where everyone does not read, because it takes you great skills to not just try to go through the stuff there. So that is like the questions are asked from those sections, even if you don't want them to. They're the important topics, and like you should solve one paper daily. Like if you can do it on alternate days, but one paper per day is a must, because you should know how to put your stuff into action in the 3 hours that you are provided in, because that is very difficult. Even if you know your stuff, you can't recall it all in the 3 hours. You should try to give the exams in 3 hours, in the provided time slot as well. So like also just go through whatever I've written in the 2 slides of last 30 or 40 days. You will be through it. Preparing for JEE, the preparation for 12 board is done endlessly. Well, it depends if you are in the CBSE board or not. Like if you're in CBSE, the preparation of physics and only physics and chemistry is done. Like you are through it all. You just need to know how to write the stuff. But you'll have to put in extra efforts to know how to write the stuff. It won't come directly to you just because you have cleared JEE. Not cleared, like just because you have cleared for the JEE. And for 12, like for the state boards, you'll have to study separately. There will be a couple of topics which won't be related to JEE at all. So, as I said, like just don't leave it for the end. Like boards baad mein kar lunga. It won't happen. You have to start at some point. Like do at least one chapter per week from the start of the preparation itself. Like even if you do one chapter per week, you can cover the entire syllabus in like 2 years. So it's not that big a deal. So I guess the questions are ended now.
Yeah. So thank you so much, Anita ma'am and Bharat, for joining in and making time for this webinar. It was really a great and informative webinar. Thank you.
The last question which was asked, let me answer that question. That Bharat happens to be a Sinhal student right from school section, that is 9th, 10th. Bharat, you were there with us in the 9th as well as 10th.
Yeah, 9th,
and 11th and 12th. He's from Sinhal.
Yeah. So here, I think here we end our webinar. Thank you so much for joining in, everyone. And big thank you to Bharat and Anita ma'am for joining and making time for this webinar. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot.
Welcome.